100 years ago, Rabbi I.E. Neustadt dreamed that all the Jewish children could learn Hebrew together in a communal school. Today we celebrate the fulfillment of that dream as we celebrate the centennial of the Bureau of Jewish Education, the oldest continually operating Jewish communal school in the United States. For over a century, the Bureau of Jewish Education has taught our children to read and to speak Hebrew, to share Jewish holidays, and to build community.
This is a place where they all come together, and I find that community-oriented, and I think that that's very important so that other Jewish children interact with each other, no matter where they're living or even where they're going to school.
But it did create also a sense of communal identity. You met the kids from the other temples in a way, in a timing way that friendships were developed, and a lot of the mystique of the other institutions was broken. It wasn't any longer the kids from the other side of Marine Street.
People don't realize how important sometimes the school is to families. And I've always felt that it was our community coming together I said this at my granddaughter's bat mitzvah, in its finest hour, when we prepare our children and pass on our tradition.
We began as the United Talmud Torah, became the Neustadt Talmud Torah, and the Jewish Educational Association, before we became the BJE. The buildings and names might have changed throughout the years, but one thing has never changed: the commitment to good, qualified, and well-paid teachers teaching our children. From the beginning, Rabbi Neustadt emphasized hiring good teachers and paying them well. In fact, the first teachers and the first principals earned even more than Rabbi Neustadt did himself. Our teachers and directors have each brought their personal touch to the curriculum and the character of the school. The Hebrew school curriculum has evolved throughout the years to keep pace with the changing priorities and knowledge regarding language acquisition. Today we are using the internet and computer technology to reach and to engage the 21st century learner. We are pleased to have so many qualified teachers who have been here for so long, including Yossi Cohn, who has taught at the BJE for nearly 1/3 of our history.
When you teach a foreign language, you're not teaching a list of words that you'd like people to memorize and maybe to pass the test and to forget them 2 minutes after the test. I think you teach language as culture.
For us, it was a family. We went 5 years, 4 days a week. We would go out to the camp in Gucci and had camp retreats. We had pre-bar and bat mitzvah events during the school so you could get up and practice your portions. We had one teacher for 4 of the 5 years.
Who was the teacher?
Rhoda Israeloff.
Oh my God. Yes.
And she was very protective of our class. No one else was allowed to touch it. All of our parents were friends. All of our parents were on the board. I think the one thing, as I look at our class, was there were only 2 people from Aleph to Hay difference. So if from the first year into the last year, and most of us still know each other.
Our organizational structure has changed over the years. We originally had the men's board and the women's auxiliary. The men were in charge of the organization while the women's auxiliary raised funds, created holiday celebrations, and helped out in the day-to-day operations.
Well, I was an auxiliary president, and then they went into nominating, and everybody said, no, we can't have a woman, and Dr. Hodes said, if you think she's going to work and not become president, you're wrong.
The presidents carried the weight of this unique endeavor on their shoulders, with the biggest problem always being the finances.
It's like any family, we have our fights. Like any group that is unified for money purposes, they're certainly going to have disputes internally about certain things. The Bureau has taken a lot of very tough stands when it was necessary to do that. I certainly hope the Bureau continues to do that.
From very early on, the Jewish Federation of Greater Indianapolis has been our greatest ally, our strictest critic, and the pillar of support that keeps our doors open and our program excellent.
The most daring and exciting thing I've done in my almost 90 years was the BJE Purim Ball, which we had at the Murat Theater.
All I can remember is that it was very festive, and people got really dressed up.
The Ladies Auxiliary hosted many special events over the years and raised funds for many special things, including the BJE bus. In 1915, the Auxiliary created the Purim Ball, which brought together the entire community for a night of entertainment and fun, and created the tradition of the Purim Ball kings and queens.
Unite the community as much as possible. Unite it from the educational aspect. There is a lot in education that we educators could all do together. And doing together is doing better. Doing separately defeats the purpose of the community and of Jewish education.
As we celebrate our centennial, we rejoice in our past and look towards the future. We are grateful for all our leaders and committed friends from the past century. But mostly we rejoice in having had the opportunity the past 100 years and for the next 100 years and more, fulfilling Rabbi Neustadt's dream of creating a communal school in which we diligently teach our children our heritage and give them the tools to build full and vibrant Jewish lives.
וכשאתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך